It was 1916. A few years into the war, I was in the army, infantry.
Gwyn's Shorts,
All Welsh division over in France.
Episode 1, The Divine Evasion. The prison guard was making his round, and he was satisfied to notice that everything was quiet. More importantly, they were quiet. The legends had been quite loud since their arrival at the time prison, and none of the usual threats had an effect on them. They simply wouldn't be quiet. With two exceptions, though, the mad scientist and the poet. Those two had been a little too quiet, considering. State your name and occupation. The matronly woman wasn't happy to be on processing duty. Every single one of the legends had been difficult. Complaining, making silly demands, or just questioning everything. At this point, she was really looking forward to the end of her shift. Dr. Gwyn Davis. I invented time travel.
And you expect a medal for that? Next!
Gwyn was escorted out of the room, but as he was leaving, he got a glimpse of Alan, who was going to be processed next. Things weren't so bad. At least this is what Gwyn told himself to cope with the situation. He was finally reunited with Alan, and this was pretty much the only upside. "Are we prisoners of war?" the poet asked, but the scientist wasn't able to provide an answer. He didn't even know what the charges against them were. All he knew was that they had trusted Mike the Fixer twice, and that he had betrayed them twice in return. And who goes by the name Boxer Gold anyway? "It's Booster! Booster Gold!" came a familiar voice from the cell next door, but Gwyn ignored it. "You know, Gwyn, you're quite handsome when you're sulking," Alan said with a smile. Yes, things could be worse. Breakfast, lunch and dinner were the legends' favorite time of the day. Not because of the food quality, who likes grey mush anyway, but because they could spend time together and check on each other. The first couple of days, they were hopeful. "You'll see, we'll be out in no time, we're frigging legends," Sarah kept telling them. That was until the official news was brought to them abruptly. "We have been cancelled?" Astra repeated. They all shared the same look of shock. They had been sentenced to a lifetime in prison. I'm going to have our baby in jail?" Sarah's hormones weren't acting up this time, and soon they were all crying with her, especially Gary. The next morning, there was no happy reunion at breakfast. Instead, a gloomy atmosphere seemed to have surrounded the Legends table, and even the guards on duty felt depressed. They had started to grow accustomed to the loud group of time travelers. The Legends weren't hungry, and they even avoided eye contact, because they were too afraid they might start crying again. Spooner's voice broke the heavy silence. "When do legends go quietly?" Astra instantly looked at her friend and smiled. "Never. They never go quietly." And the legends seemed to steal from their sad mood. Gwyn spoke. "Well, actually, I believe that going quietly is the key to escape this prison, for, you see, I have a plan." The prison guard was making his round and was satisfied to observe that everything was quiet. More importantly, the legends were quiet. Too quiet. Suddenly alarmed, the guard hurried to check in their respective cells. They were empty. All of them. The legends never go quietly. Only this time, they did. They did go so quietly that nobody noticed.